Okay.
Live on YouTube.
Okay.
I'll be
Okay.
right back, guys. Hello to everyone viewing us on YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We all enjoy the great podcast that we've been having. We're back again for another round. Now, be advised, tonight we do not have any major topics that we're going to be dealing with tonight. Let me turn down my page real fast here. We don't have any actual topics tonight. So we have all three owners in the Discord right now. We also have Ben back from last podcast. If you didn't see last podcast, go back and take a look at the last podcast that we did. I think we're actually going to go ahead and go through and do a recap of all the other topics that we've had and kind of get the back feed on some of them as well. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute in the Discord and let them all say hello to you guys. Alright, guys, we are live at this time. Live on YouTube. If someone can go ahead and grab a link and post it in the self-promotion tab for us.
Already on it.
Thank you, sir.
If you could do the same for Twitch as well.
Yep, I'm on both. Let me do that real quick.
It's not working right now.
So I'm going to let everyone say hello. As you guys already know, I'm 100. There's my tag number that I wear on my turnout gear at all times. So my call sign is 100. Below me is Ben. He's a security personnel, if I'm not mistaken. And then we also have 149 and 40 also following.
Hello.
Oh shoot. What's up?
Howdy. Yeah, 100, you're kind of correct on the terminology. Yes, I'm a security personnel, but I prefer security officer or security enforcement officer.
Yeah,
Security enforcer sounds good.
Same difference.
Right. Oh yeah, it's all the same.
So, as I was telling the chat a little bit in the beginning here, I think what we really should do is we should do a podcast. Just kind of going through some of the older podcasts that we've had and some of the topics that we've actually went over. And get you guys' kind of opinions and, differences on them. What do you guys think on that?
I'm all for it. Sorry about that. I know I turned my camera off. I was going to grab a quick drink.
It's all good.
How's it going, guys? This Twitch side. This is the podcast, and later on tonight we'll be doing some gaming. My name is Ethan Farron, or 149. Got 40 right next to me, there's Jaden.
Hello.
And in the background, you guys can hear 100. It's known as Matthew and Ben.
What's up?
Hello.
Oh, they can't hear them?
No.
Oh, that's awkward. Hang on.
Audio input capture.
Now you should be able to hear everybody. Well, that was a bit awkward.
Gotta love it, guys. Gotta love it.
There it
So what
is.
you're doing there.
It's his first time with a PC streaming, guys, so just bear with him, please.
Trust me.
Yes.
I know I
I'm-
made that mistake my first time.
I'm trying to help Mog a little bit. I've done it
Right.
before a little bit.
Brand new to all this, so right now I'm on the stream. What you're watching is I'm just setting up an FS91 world. But we'll be talking about a bunch of different stuff throughout the night, and then, like I said, we'll be doing some gaming on a couple different games later on this evening. So, yeah, stay tuned if you're interested.
Oh yeah. So, Ben, I know you said that you wanted to kind of touch base a little bit on the topic from last week. Let's just real fast before we touch base on it. Let me pull that up here.
Yeah, of course. Let's recap it a little bit before I touch base on what I want to touch base on with it.
So the topic from last week was being a security guard and working on different sites and how to handle different situations and policies. That is one that was kind of picked up a little later on than what we really wanted. We took quite a bit of a break, and then we kind of came back with that one. So with that being said, we did do a lot of question and answer, question and answering back and forth between the chats and within the Discord, actually. I think we did a really good turnout on that stream, honestly. Ben, I will let you kind of take the floor to kind of recap a little bit more on that.
So, guys, as 100 was saying, last week was... I believe it was last week at this point. Okay, cool. Sorry, my days kind of run long for me these days. I know a lot of our first responders can agree with that one. But, so, last week was the first show back, and we actually hit my topic, which was awesome. I enjoyed for my first time coming on the show to actually have it be something that I was knowledgeable in. So what we were talking about was different venue policies, different company policies, the difference between unarmed guard versus armed guard, what certifications and licensings you have to go through, stupidest rules you've had to work under. There was a couple of those in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was mostly just hitting on what security enforcement actually does as a job. And 100 himself, and I believe Blue Eyes Gaming, who was in there at the time, also said security, when at an event where there is security, before fire and EMS are called, or before PD is out there, we are the first ones to deal with everything. We have to assess everything and control our crowds, protect our artists, protect the company. Whatever we have to do, we do. We work hand in hand with law. So that's kind of just a general recap of what all happened last night. Last week. It was a long podcast, and it was funnier for me because legitimately the next day I was at a concert. And so you kind of, you talk about all these policies and everything, and you're sitting here the next day and you're going, wow, I hit the nail on the head with that hammer right there.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. For anybody worried if I'm actually drinking an actual beer, no, it's non-alcoholic. It's a near beer. It is Old Milwaukee, though, so it is really good.
Your camera's off, so they can't see you.
No, my camera's on.
It's not showing on his side.
Oh, it's not showing on Twitch, okay.
Yeah.
I know it's showing on YouTube, that's why I made that comment. This is like, don't want to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
It's a 0 now.
Okay, so I've covered a general recap. 100, if I can jump into those two other things that I forgot from last week, because they didn't hit my head till last night.
Yeah, go ahead and hit your two topics real fast, Mom, and then we'll kind of get into the other two podcasts that we've had so far.
Yeah, of course. So, just like quick couple things that I forgot to mention last week that I honestly really did want to mention, but it didn't hit me till last night. How to respond when your boss at a concert venue who knows you're coming to a concert and it's a 3-hour long concert, what they do when they offer, or how you handle a boss offering you free stuff. Basically, and this legitimately happened, I'm going to a concert called Eve 6 here at one of my venues, off duty, myself and a friend. My boss asked me if I wanted premium seating in our upstairs lounge area, which means instead of being on my feet for 3 hours straight and being more likely to want to leave, I'm going to be sitting upstairs in comfy seats. Now, I had asked him before about getting tickets for some stuff, or trying to see if maybe if we had any extra tickets or anything like that when we were doing our free tickets again. If I could get access to those for my dad and I. That I would work the show if he wanted me to, but I'd like to have a ticket for my dad. Well,
There you go.
my boss remembered this, and he got it worked out with our upsales team and with our general manager, and he got me 2 free tickets to go sit upstairs for me and my friend tonight, Wednesday night for a concert. 3-hour long show. Yeah. It happens. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. No, I know a lot of people are probably gonna ask this, you know, and I know it was a question from last week, even. Being that you're off duty, are you still able to act accordingly at that venue?
So, somebody's pager or something's going off.
Yeah, it's a FFA thing.
Talk to you later.
Okay. So, actually, depending on what kind of event it is, and if I've already gotten special clearance from my boss, I actually offered, while I was going to be at that concert, that I'd be off shift, but if he wanted me on a radio, I could have a radio and I could kind of be sitting upstairs kind of undercover, and if something happens, I can call. He told me no, that they were going to have enough staff for it, but he did tell me that if I see something, I can act accordingly and go borrow a radio from one of the upstairs guys, or find one of the upstairs security guards and let them know what's going on and be like, hey, look, I work for the company, I'm off tonight, here's what I've seen.
Okay, Jaden.
Let's get it taken care of.
Okay.
There are times where, yeah, I can go undercover
Nice.
at my job. And it's helpful, because it allows us to get... Me going in as a patron Wednesday night and working as and not working and being there as a customer will allow me to have a better perspective when I'm there as an employee. Plus, if I have to step in the middle of something while I'm off shift, there's more risk for me. There's little less but little more risk, you know?
Oh yeah.
Now I'm subject to being fired, being arrested, and all that. Whereas if I'm on shift, I'm just getting fired or a warning.
Right.
But I'm off shift. The other thing, mandatory trainings. That fun word right there, mandatory training. What? And this is absolutely hilarious to me, because Live Nation did not tell me that I had these trainings until they were almost overdue. I had 7, I think they said 9 total, but I've got about, I think, 7 mandatory trainings for the year 2022 to 2023.
Ooh.
And I've done 6 of them that need to be completed. But, you know, nobody Nobody sat there and told me, hey, Ben, these trainings need to get done.
Right.
Nobody mentioned it to me. The company didn't email me and go, hey, you need to do this. I had no idea I had to do it till about today.
Wow.
Or till the day that it went overdue, and then I sat there and I did it the day before the day of my shift. And now it's like now I've still gotta continue doing it, and I haven't even finished it yet.
Now, I don't have the Twitch stream pulled up, so if there's anyone asking questions over there, you guys are going to have to kind of read it out loud.
No, there's nobody asking questions. But now that you mentioned that, yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in, and we'll look them in and answer them best as we can.
Yeah,
exactly.
Guys, don't be afraid to ask questions, even on YouTube side. Guys, don't be afraid to ask questions. We are watching the chats very closely tonight. Tonight's kind of a Q&A question, and kind of see what we can come up with for topics to talk about. Being that we do have myself as an exterior, we do have an interior, and also another explorer here within the group. For the fire department side, we'll be more than willing to answer questions. We do have a security officer personnel here as well. He'll be willing to answer any questions you guys have. The only thing we do ask is do not just go in and research, questions on what we have available, for fire or for the security side. Because a lot of the questions that come up are going to be ones that we're not going to know the answers to, guys. So, honestly, ask a question that you want to know. Don't just come up to us and say, copy and paste a question from online.
And for anybody who didn't hear the comment I made, I said Zeno because he did that all last week throughout my entire when I was doing questions and answers. It was it was 20 minutes of me just sitting here looking at him and answering several questions that I knew the answer to, and then just going, "Okay, look, I'm done at this point." It got bad.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, Jaden ran home for a little while.
Okay.
So, he is moderating the Twitch chat for us, but he's not here.
Okay. I'm moderating our own chat over here, by myself here.
I'm also watching both chats.
Okay. So the first topic that we had, I do believe that we actually kind of covered, was our topic of reviewing rookie mistakes that can be made in firefighting / rookie mistakes you personally have made. So I'm going to kind of open up the floor and allow these guys to kind of touch base on, maybe some of the rookie mistakes that you guys have made, just in general. Not necessarily being, firefighting, but some of the rookie mistakes that you guys have done within the profession that you're in.
149, if you want to go first, you can, or I can go. Either way.
You can go ahead and go.
Alright, rookie mistakes, right?
Yep.
Okay, so my first year in security. I know I hit on it a couple of times. Last week I'm hitting on it again because it's still like the stupidest thing. A customer in the Hurricane Bay area of the water park used my name in a formal complaint against me that got me put on my last warning. Basically meaning I screw up one more time and I'm fired. Thing was, that incident never happened.
Oof.
I have no memory, no recollection of it. So I worked my and I was getting ready to go on vacation at that point in time anyway. I was like close to going out for a vacation, and I was working that shift that I got told I was going to be fired on if I messed up. Well, apparently somehow I made a mistake or two that I don't... Oh, I know the mistake I made. So this kid he had a guest pass. And apparently you're not allowed to do it. You have to give him a warning. And so I had a supervisor come out for it. Kid flipped off the ride camera on a Thunder Run. Yeah.
Huh.
You're not allowed to do that. It's a big no-no, and you can get you can actually get kicked out of the park, or if your season pass, sometimes you can lose your pass if you've done it before.
That's
Well, yeah, it's stupid. Their policies were, and I'm assuming even though it's under new management, are still fucking idiotic. I know the original the security director that I worked under, he's long gone. He's gone now. But I guess because I attempted to kick the kid out instead of issue him a verbal warning, that's what ultimately led to me getting sacked.
damn. I'm sorry.
Stupid
That's a stupid fucking rule. What if
policy.
what if they didn't know that was a policy?
No, they knew it was a rule. You can look up their rules and all that, but it's common. It's a common sense thing. Kids and their parents see those pictures. It's like going to Disney World, riding Splash Mountain, being 400 something pounds and lifting up your shirt and flashing the shirt at a 90-degree angle. You look like a woman with tits. By the way, I stole that directly from a Fluffy special.
Yes, you did.
Because I remember that. But no, it was more of a common sense thing. But anyway, stupidest rookie mistake I've ever made. I'll never work for a theme park again. Lesson learned. Also, and in case anybody's curious as to what the hell I'm eating, I have bean dip.
Ew. Anyway, we won't talk about my lovely rookie mistakes, because yeah, mine were really stupid. I was a little jumpy for my first call, so yeah. But that's as far as I'm gonna go with that one for like the second. Let's go ahead and go over to 149.
Shit.
You know it's good when he starts off well, shit.
Gotta pick the mic up for this one.
1.9.
Yes.
Just so you know, if you gotta take a shit, that's made for the bathroom.
You're such a funny guy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the best rookie mistake that I can give you guys that I've made is, like, going into, like, not even just saying the fire hall, but, like, certain sports I've done it, shit like that. Going in thinking you know everything. And if it's something new, you find out real quick you don't know shit. So, yeah.
That is true. I just realized I've got another rookie mistake. This is a good one.
Send it.
All of my first responders and everybody's gonna hate me for this one. My first security shift, I was shadowing somebody, and I looked at him and I was like, "Man, it sure is." And then I finished it with that one word. And ever since that day, I do not make that fucking mistake. No matter where I work. I had a coworker say that to me, and it was her, me, and my manager, and me and my manager looked at her and went, "Don't you dare say that word again." Now, context, I work retail as well as security, so I don't say that Q word at all, point blank, never. I don't even utter it when I'm off clock, off shift, and home. Because I'm usually role-playing with my friends, and so I really don't want to say the Q word. Also, never piss off your dispatchers. That's another rookie mistake I've made. Do not piss off dispatch.
I'm supposed to fix it. Oops.
Alright, 100, I believe it's your turn.
Ah, fudge.
Another sign that it's gonna be a good one. Oh, fuck. By the way, that's typically saved for the bedroom.
So, my first MVA call that I ever went to. We were dispatched out for an MVA at a traffic light. It really wasn't that bad. It was like more or less like a fender bender type of deal. And I ended up going to the hall, getting in my gear. Max was already, the Amber was already out of the hall, and already on scene. I turned on and decided to, walk down to the scene. It's right there. Didn't know I wasn't allowed to.
Nope.
I didn't know at that time. I was dumb and, like, woohoo, my first call, let's go.
You were young and dumb.
I haven't been in that long, so less than a year. So I
Throw my bean dip at you.
I'm sure that, one of the lovely new assistant chiefs remember that. And I'm sure that that's going to be one of the things that gets me told no.
Right. Yeah, so, speaking of doing shit that you're not allowed to do on scenes.
Oh, God.
Okay, look. This goes back to the whole kicking people out thing. I said my first shift I was shadowing somebody, right? So I explained that one. I know I told this story. Mass ejection of a big 16-party group. 3 of them almost ended in cuffs. 2 of them almost ended up tasered by the cops.
Yep.
Don't sit there and laugh and giggle as they're making homophobic remarks towards you and your security supervisor and the guy you're shadowing. Yeah, they were calling us a bunch of fags and saying that we sucked each other's dicks in the middle of shift and da-da-da-da-da. And we all like to take it up the ass, this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting there at this point. Now keep in mind, I'm out. I'm out and proud. I am. I was sat there just fucking dumb. I was trying so hard not to die of laughter. I wrote the narrative up. I went home. I clocked out, went home. I sat in the car on the way home, and I just fucking bust out laughing. And Dad's like, "What?" And I'm like, "My last call. Just the sheer stupidity of it. It was glorious. But, while you're on a scene, be serious as you can be. It doesn't matter how fucking stupid the shit they're saying is. And I've actually had this happen. And it's still hilarious to me to this day. I had one guy claim to know the senior operations manager of my venues. Senior operations manager is about a 6'2", 6'3" white gentleman, ginger with a long beard. You know, kind of like a hippie hillbilly beard, sort of, but also kind of neat. One of those goes, "Oh well, I know Bradley, and he'll have you guys fired." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let me call Bradley then." If such good friends with Bradley or Mikey B, let me call one of them out here, because I can get them on radio, and I can have them come out and hang out with us. You want to play that game? Let's do it. Oh, but isn't he super busy? No. Bradley has time to respond to calls if we need him. That's what he's there for, mostly. He's a supervisor.
I will be right back, guys.
Alrighty.
So, dude was like, "Oh, but it's not really that necessary. I'll just talk to him later when I see him." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Just because you did say that, sir, that's kind of you saying you want to see the manager. I do have to call him. You requested a supervisor by name. I have to specifically call said supervisor by name out to the location on the radio." It's like, "Oh, but it's not necessary, da 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 da." Keep in mind, I'm working the front entrance. So, I'm inside the venue. Bradley was upstairs doing something. Or he was in his office, one of the two, at the venue. He was somewhere. So, I jump on my radio. You know, I'm in this. You can tell by the way I have it set. My earpiece usually sits on this ear over here. So, and I've got my mic in the middle of my chest. So, I just click the mic, and I go, "And, Bradley." He comes back, "Go ahead." I say, "Hey, sir, when you get a moment, can you come to front lobby, please? I got a, guest claiming to know you. They asked for you. They said your name specifically." He said, "Alright, I'm on my way." I'm like, "Upstairs, I'll be there in 2 minutes." He comes down, walks over, sees me, sees the guest. I go, "Hey, Brad, what's up, brother? This guy that says he knows you." Brad looks at the dude, looks back at me, looks at the dude, looks back at me, and goes, "Nope, never seen this guy in my life. What's he giving you an issue on?" And I told him the exact policy he was being an asshole about. Which it was because at the time we were requiring, for the specific show, and a lot of specific shows, we were requiring proof of either a negative COVID test or vaccination status. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to be boosted, just your first 2 shots. That's all we gave a shit about. Well, he's like, "Oh, well, this is a fucking communist dictatorship, da-da-da-da-da, I don't have to show shit, da-da-da-da-da, it's my right, I can get into this show." No, you can't. Because when the artist specifically tells us how they want us to run that show,
You have to follow that artist's protocol.
we have to follow the fucking artist protocol. Because if we don't, we lose that artist as a client, and we lose that tour. And then we're losing money.
Oof.
So it wasn't even that we were requiring masks, because some artists actually required both.
Right.
Thank God we weren't requiring both. I was still in a mask, obviously, because this was during the times where I still had to wear one. But Bradley, I explained everything to Bradley. Bradley looks at me and goes, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Ask him one more time for his COVID card. If he still refuses, he can walk outside. If he refuses, I'll have Officer Morgan come inside, and he can be escorted out of the property trespassed, and be arrested. He said this while looking at me and looking at the customer and talking to me at the same time. I look at the guy and I go, "All right, sir. You've just heard what he said. You want to show me your code card, or do you want to go peacefully, or do you want to be arrested?" And in front of it was his wife and his friends were with him. In front of your wife and your friends.
Ooh.
No, sir. Here's my COVID card. Thank you. Perfect. Now, usually we had Vax verifiers out front to do it for us, but that night, the guy had gotten past our verifiers, and the verifiers were just like, "Fuck it. Ben's inside. Ben will deal with it." Kind of deal. I'm not a
I
super.
didn't see any of that.
You didn't hear any of it?
No, because he had to step away.
Okay.
No, no. No, I just exited out of FS19 after making like 95% of my FS911 world and didn't save a single thing.
Oh, shit.
There's a rookie mistake for you.
Right there. Right there. But so they knew I was inside. And like I've said, and I told my boss going in, "Look, man, I've got 3 years of security experience, 3 years work experience. A lot of that does have some security into it. So even if I'm not a supervisor, if you guys want to give me stuff that normally supervisors would do or have me handle certain things, let me know and I'll run it. I don't give a shit. I'll run it." I've actually ran point on several different things where I've been the lead Vax verifier. I'm one of the lead guys upstairs doing ushering. Usually they have me and 2 other people who don't do it. And I'm the guy that does kind of runs point on everything up there. So, like I said, dude made it inside past our guys. Outside, I was just kind of there, and I was like, I told him what was straight up like, okay, cool. So he hadn't even made it through the metal detector before I had stopped him for his COVID card. Because they had gone on radio and told me what was going on. So it's like, all right, put any and all metal in that bucket there. I'm going to bring it over to my side. I'm going to check it. You're going to walk through that detector. If you go off, my wander is going to wand you. No weapons, none, unless you are law enforcement, and you don't want to drink. No weapons, because that's the way our venue is. Because it's state law out here.
Right.
We cannot prohibit law enforcement from carrying in our venue, so long as we have their information on file and we can verify their shooting hand. They'll wear a checkered wristband of some kind, and our bar knows not to serve them alcohol. Because it's either you carry in our venue, or you don't drink, or you drink,
Right.
But yeah. So don't fuck with the 5'10", 200-pound security officer who looks like he don't fuck around. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be fuck around, find out.
Yeah. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go back to the topics here. Hold on. Alright, so this is kind of pointing more towards the fire service. But again, I will let you kind of chime in, kind of put your aspect in as well on this. The next topic that we have done was what to expect your rookie year in the fire service. So honestly, like I've said myself already in that podcast, your rookie year, you're basically running your ass off, making sure, you're proving yourself to your department, making sure that you make most of the calls if possible. And also, being there when you're absolutely needed. Um, for instance, like for house fires and that. Yeah, you may not be trained to, really do much, but the small little things that they can teach you on the fly, you know, like hydrant, how to tap a hydrant, how to, you know, where to put a ladder, you know, even how to bet a freaking hose line after the fire is done. Things of that nature. It's really, up to you to, learn those type of things and be able to do the job effectively and efficiently. And 149 can also kind of chime in here on that topic as well, in case there was something I did miss. 149, if you don't mind chiming in on that as well.
What was that?
The topic is what to expect your rookie year in the fire service.
Yeah, you just gotta expect to get thrown many different challenges. And you gotta keep an open mind, because there will be people that will uh, that will try to like discourage you, try and
Break you, basically.
throw you off, so to speak. So you gotta just always keep an open mind, and always, no matter what you're doing, always keep your head on a swivel.
That's for any kind of scene, really. Whether it be medical, even a fire scene, traffic control, it really doesn't matter. On any scene, you always have to make sure your head's on a swivel. And I'm sure it's the same way for security as well. And this is kind of where I'm going to let Ben kind of take the floor on that aspect. What's some of the things that, to be expected your rookie year of being a security officer?
So, I know for everybody it's different. For me, a lot of people would argue that I'm still kind of in my rookie year, so to speak, because I've held so many different security jobs. But no. So, depending on the company you work for, depending on what you do, it could be a rookie year, or you could be a rookie for 3 or 4 months, and then you're considered a full-fledged guard, and so rookie year, expect to sit through the training, the first day, your orientation, all that, tour of the venue, all that good stuff, do all that, do all the paperwork, onboarding, all that. Your first shift, you're gonna be thrown the shit jobs. You absolutely 110% always are. I know for me, my first night, I was actually lucky. I was on metal detector, so I wasn't even wanding. I was just on the metal detector, and that was kind of nice because you got to be there. Depending on who you work for, expect a lot of different shit. I know for me in my concert venues, my rookie year for this company, actually, I'm technically a rookie year. I say technically because I hold over 3 years fucking experience doing this shit, and this kind of stuff is nothing new to me. But for me, it was going up to a different venue than what I'm used to. It does happen. You get asked to help out other venues because we are Live Nation. We go up to Noblesville, Indiana every now and again, where the Ruhoff Music Center is. My first time up there was a 3-day straight fish event. And after fucking up my back, and yes, I do mean I fucked up my back, because my back is already fucked up anyway. I aggravated it. So that Thursday, the rest of the Thursday night, I was driving a golf cart, and Friday and Saturday, all 3 days I was legitimately just driving a golf cart. So I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For the remaining 2 days, I was driving a golf cart. Mostly doing 88 rides. So after driving a golf cart, Saturday, you know, I was driving it all day. You meet a lot of interesting people. I will say this: never accept alcohol or weed while you're on the clock. I don't care if they piss test you or not at your job. Doesn't matter what you do. Don't. Free food is another thing. Me and my coworkers constantly got free food from a lot of the places. But yeah. Watch the scenery of different venues. It does not matter where you're at. And if you have the opportunity to drive a golf cart, don't fucking drift the fucker. So look, I never toppled my golf cart over. I got lucky in that regards. But I did pop a tire.
Oof.
And none of us knew till the next day. But they didn't say it was mine. So I still don't know if I fully popped that tire or not. But a tire popped. Make friends with the other guards on staff and show them who work at the Ruhoff, and make friends with those managers and show them what you're capable of. Show them what you're capable of at that venue, so they want your crew back. My crew was already asked back a second time, and I'm sure we're going to be asked back more this season. But yeah, that's kind of what to expect your rookie year. Or so with us.
So that's all the topics that we've gone over this far. It's only been 3 of them. So I'm going to kind of open up the floor, guys, to anyone that would like to kind of start making topics or even ask questions. We're open for any kind of questions, whether it be over on Twitch or here on YouTube, whichever. We're more than willing to answer some questions, guys. So let's go ahead and open up the floor at this time. And even anyone here in the chat, in the voice channel, if you guys have questions, you know, regarding someone else's job and that, feel free to kind of ask them. Please, you know, let's kind of keep this live stream going. We're about 48 minutes in. Let's see, you know, how much longer we can go. You know, I'd like to at least hit an hour for each podcast if we can, guys.
Yeah, I can agree to what Matt's saying. I'm curious because, and this is just me. I have a friend who's a junior firefighter, and I wasn't really explained the full terminology, and nobody's told me anything. So my question is, what's the because 100, you said you're an interior, right?
No, 100 is an exterior.
100's the exterior.
Yep.
149's the interior, isn't he?
Yep.
Okay. So, for you guys both, I guess, what's the difference between you two?
I work on the outside of the fire. I basically am the one who's going to be setting up ladders for emergency escapes, getting a hydrant tap done, or getting the water supply done, getting tools when needed. So basically, I'm the guy that does all the running.
Okay.
Alright, I have something to add to this one, so So like exteriors,
Mm.
they're external only, and interiors they can go in. And the biggest separation difference I see that I've seen since I joined is because at this point I've been on both sides of the fence, if you will. So, I know there's interiors that expect exteriors, junior firemen, to basically do everything that doesn't have to do with putting out the fire. And honestly, myself, I've been interior at a couple fires. There's only one of them that I didn't help rebed hose or anything like that because I was in a bad mood when we got back to the fire hall and I needed to blow off some steam, so I walked away from everything and just let myself calm down a little bit. So, and I think because I've been on both sides of the fence, we're all there to do the same job. We're all there under the same title as volunteer firemen. So I don't see a point in people, or not people, like interiors and all that stuff, to make exteriors and juniors and all that do all the work. And like I get some of the juniors are there to learn, so the only way they're going to learn is by doing it, but at the same time they shouldn't be, oh, go do this and then just don't get any help or anything when they need it. So
Okay. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I noticed a question in the chat from Wildstyle. Hey, how you doing tonight, Wildstyle? What is the scariest thing that any of you have encountered?
Oh, I got a good story for this one. This happened recently too. So, last Tuesday, we had a bonfire, and I was on an attack nozzle with a firefighter from a different company. And we were fighting the fire, and I heard some like metal clanking around because this barn was 100% metal, except for like wooden support beams and stuff on the inside. So I glanced up just to check my surroundings because, like I said earlier tonight, no matter on what scene or whatever you're doing at the fire hall or security, anything like that, you've always got to keep your head on a swivel. And the clanking metal I heard was the wind ripping a sheet of metal roofing off. And this sheet of metal roofing was coming straight for mine and my partner's heads. So, yeah, had I not heard it, could have turned into a way worse situation than it already was. But, yeah.
It was a scary sight to witness. from where I was.
Um, I personally
Welcome,
don't
Jaden.
have any scary encounters yet, and I really haven't been on much of on many calls myself yet. But I'm sure that we'll come up with some here soon. Maybe we'll see how this year turns out.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jaden, as well to the chat itself in the Discord. Welcome, Wildstyle, to the chat over here on YouTube. Be aware that we are also live over on Twitch as well, so if you have a Twitch and you want to go follow over there, you're more than welcome to. Everyone's welcome to follow and subscribe to us. And keep the questions coming. This is a question for Ben. From Wildstyle, what type of training is required in security?
Okay, perfect. So actually, because I do want to answer that as Scariest Encounters question too, because I do have a couple of those from my security days. So I'll answer both as quickly as I can, obviously, because I know we get a lot of questions. So, scariest encounter I've had, I'm gonna be real with you, was the oh shit, which one? Oh, no, this one doesn't come from security. This one comes from working retail. This one happened a couple weeks ago, actually. I had someone come into my store, and they were just, like, extremely rude and disrespectful, threatening me constantly and all that, My store manager was already there. She was trying to help handle it, and dude just, like, dude looked like he was ready to jump over the counter and fucking beat me for it. Over a coupon issue that I couldn't fix. So yeah, there's that. You asked what type of training is required in security? So the type of training required in security depends on your job. For me, for my venue, and I do know this comes because I asked about it, or I mentioned it earlier. I actually have to know what to do in an active shooter situation, how to work with law enforcement, person checks, vehicle checks, suspicious behavior checks, how to deal with a terrorist too, and what to do in that case, and how to have all the info I need from Homeland. Yeah, my company works with Homeland Security too. We work with everybody. We had a comedian, Jerry Seinfeld, who would not play at our venue unless it was swept by Homeland Security for threats and all that. The police and Homeland and all that, unless it was swept for bomb threats and all that stuff.
Wow.
So, it does happen.
Alrighty.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
What is the channel called for the YouTube?
Emergency responder and break room lounge. If you go to self promotion, there should be a link there. You can click on that link. And it should take you straight to the channel, or to the live.
But so yeah, that's the answer that you wanted there, Wildstyle, I hope. There are certain states that actually require you to go to go through training courses and all that, and that can happen. State of Texas, you have to go to the Board of Public Safety of Texas Public Safety, the Texas DPS, Department of Public Safety, to be certified as a armed guard or as a guard and an armed guard to get your license. And that's a 30-hour and 60-hour training course for both. And once you have your armed guard card or your private investigator card, whatever, you can also work as a bail enforcement agency. Or as a bail force agent. So, just random shit I know about because I'm a security officer.
Well, it's good things to also know as well, you know, so in case you decide you want to change your profession or add something more. Another question from Wild Style. What happens when a firefighter is trapped in a burning building? Do other firefighters go in the burning building to help the other firefighters? To answer that question, I am going to say yes, but I will let 149 actually fully answer that question at this time. So 149.
Okay, in that case, we have uh, special groups. They're known as Rapid Intervention Team and or a FAST team. They both mean the same thing. They're specially trained in dealing with those type of situations. So, fortunately, we don't always see them at most of our fires around here like we should. But yeah, there's special. I don't want to say special, but there's people that have a special kind of training to know how to go in and rescue a trapped firefighter without endangering themselves or endangering the firefighter that is trapped even more.
On that note, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and just step away for just a few minutes. I gotta grab something real fast from downstairs. But I will be right back. The podcast can keep going. I'll just be back here momentarily. Ben, you said you were watching both streams, correct?
I am
Correct,
too.
I am watching both streams at this time.
Okay. Go ahead and watch for any questions. Same with you, Pyro. So this way we kind of know what's going on, guys. I'll be back though.
Okay. That question actually is for Ben.
Okay, well, where at what channel?
YouTube. What type of
YouTube.
weapons do security guards have on them?
Okay, so this is actually a perfect question for me because you are right, it is security. So at this time, I am currently armed with nothing but my own hands. In order to carry anything else or have any other kind of weaponry besides my hands, I have to be certified as an armed guard. So that means pepper spray, batons, tasers, guns, handcuffs, knives, zip ties, any kind of stuff like that. You have to have a license and have received the proper training for. And yes, armed guards can carry tasers, pepper sprays, batons, handcuffs, and guns, and knives. It's part of their daily equipment weapons. If you see an armed guard in person and you can tell they're armed, they're going to be wearing a fucking plate carrier vest. That is not a joke. They're going to have a duty belt and a plate carrier vest. That's going to say Armed Security, their company, and their name on it. Oh, they also carry body cams. Technically speaking, I could carry a body cam as an unarmed officer. I just choose not to. Because I don't see any reason to.
Relief in GTA.
Yes.
That's
I gotta
Chuck.
do this. Gotta do this prologue so I can launch 5PD rate or LSPDFR.
I don't see another question for me on YouTube.
I don't see
I'm
any
not seeing
questions then either.
Yeah, that's what
I
I was
have
getting
them
ready to say.
both pulled up at the same time. One's on my phone, one's on my computer.
I've got
I'm
both
running-
in 2 different tabs on my computer, so
Then
I'm
I'm
watching
running
everything.
Discord to my computer too.
Nice, same.
I can see it
Um,
all.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Alright. We're back, guys. I am back, guys. I'm gonna just keep my camera off for just a few. I'll turn it back on here soon, guys. So what other questions can we kind of come up with, guys? Just amongst the 4 of us, even. Feel free to ask us any of us questions. Directly towards one another, even.
Yeah, I mean, 40. I know I don't know if you got to watch the podcast from that last week or not, sir. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask me. I've got some for you guys too that I can ask here and there if I feel like it when I remember them. Of course.
In my room,
Eh,
it was a mess.
right. Of course, I know 149 was there last week. A little bit. 149. Do you have any other questions for me? I know you and 100, and I believe 40.
We got a question.
Yep. We
Ooh.
do.
Ooh.
Do firefighters have to train for mechanical
Mechanical.
purchase?
Do firefighters have to train for what?
Mechanical purchase.
Mechanical purchase.
Think purchase point, maybe? I don't know.
Wildstyle, are you saying
Can you
can you try to be a
But
little more
actually
specific on that
rephrase it.
question?
Yeah, I'd also, and I'm not a firefighter, but I'd also kind of like a little bit more of a fucking clarification on that one, because that one.
What do you mean by
Sorry,
mechanical
misspell.
purchase?
She misspelled it.
Oh, okay. Sorry for the miss. Okay, cool.
Hold on. She'll fix it here in just a second. No, as security, just out of curiosity,
Oh.
you guys don't have the right. You guys don't get to go and meet all the band personnel in that, do you?
So honestly, funnily enough, I don't know if I've mentioned this or not yet. I probably haven't, and I've meant to. So while on shift, the answer is no, unless you are the operations manager and you're meeting for pre-show briefing to figure out what we're gonna do, and usually that's meeting with the tour manager. No. However, I have 2 instances where it was completely acceptable. I met a country artist by the name of Drake White at his show because his show was over. He was back on the floor for another impromptu meet and greet, and he said that any of us staff or security personnel, if we wanted to meet him, we could. So I went over and met him. Really nice guy, really awesome. I got a photo with him. Number 2, Ron White. I was off shift. I had already clocked out. I was off clock and all that. I was in a hoodie. I wasn't in any gear. But Ron was asking me and another guard questions that I kind of knew the answer to, but didn't. But before Ron walked away, I looked at him and I said, "Hey, Mr. White, I know you're a busy man, but my dad and I are massive fans of yours. Do you mind if I get a quick picture with you so I can show it to my dad?" And Ron said, "Make it fucking quick."
Ooh.
Legitimately, Tater Salad's words to me were, "Yeah, that's fine. Just make it fucking quick, please. I got shit to do." I said, "Yes, sir."
And to answer your question, Wild Style, we advise that's a good thing to do to have underneath our belt, because a lot of us firemen are actually kind of going through and doing doing medical calls along with doing fire calls. Right now we actually have 149 Farron. He's actually doing a EMT course. So he's going to be both an interior fireman and an EMT. In my case, personally, I go and assist. I'm basically like a runner. If anything happens, where they need me to go out to the rig and grab something, or if they need help with a lift assist, I'm the guy that's there to kind of help them with that. So, generally, not all the firemen are certified in CPR, but some of us are certified in CPR just for the basic knowledge, and so we can assist when needed, in case we do have a fireman down, or if we do get to a scene where CPR is needed, we can actually perform at that time. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Dan can kind of clarify this, but if I'm not mistaken, security also has to be knowledgeable on CPR as well.
That is correct. Yes, we do have to be knowledgeable on CPR. We can get CPR certified through, and I'm sure you guys do it through the same people we do, the American Red Cross.
Yep.
Yep, that's how we get our CPR certs. But so I got mine for free. My 7th, 8th grade year of middle school. God, it's been a while. And look, I know all the I need to know to do it. I just didn't feel like maintaining that certification, because just, when am I gonna need it, kind of deal,
Yeah, but again, who knows? If you're the first one there, you're at a concert, you may need it.
Yeah, exactly. I won't need the certification, but I remember how to do it.
Right.
Yes, it would save my ass a little bit more if I was certified, but I still know what the fuck I'm doing. So, yeah, we can be CPR certified. We don't have to be. It doesn't matter. Yes, we do train for CPR if we've already been trained for it. Or even if not, we can take the courses ourselves and get our certifications and be CPR certified and have been trained for it. The company won't pay for it. We have to pay out of pocket, but we can still do it.
Another question just came in from Wild Style. How long do trainings last for firefighters and security? If you're talking about like the main trainings that we had to go through for firemen, like the BFO, which is the Basic Exterior Fire Operations course, they normally last roughly about 3 months, roughly 2 to 3 months. And you go at least twice a week to the trainings. Now, our department also hosts trainings as well, and those are held 2 times a month as well. So we not only are we doing department trainings that last at least 3 hours, but again, we do the state trainings as well that we have to handle as well. Now, the security I'm not too sure on. So I'll let you go ahead, Ben, real fast, and then we'll answer the next question.
Security. How long do trainings last? Depends on what you do. Like I said, 30 to 40 hour training course, maybe even a 60 if you're an armed guard. But that's it. Legitimately, everything else comes through computer courses and all that, and that's usually just on the job training or just researching yourself basically for the upcoming venue year. So that's that.
Okay, so the second question is, what happens if someone has a virus breakdown on the job? I'm gonna go ahead and send that over to 149 because he's been in the service longer than me. So 149, did you hear the question that was asked?
What happens if somebody has a nervous breakdown, I believe?
Yes.
To be completely honest, I've never really experienced that. So
I want to say,
if I did guess, they'd probably just have the person step off to the side or go sit in the ambulance if there's one there, something like that, and like just try and calm them down. But I can't for sure give an answer on that one because I've never experienced an incident like that.
and for security.
For security, what we do is, depending on who it is, if it's one of us or if it's a customer, if it's one of us, we do pull, we have that person, we call for a supervisor, we have that person pull off to the side, and we have them sit there, and we call for a relief. So basically, we call for somebody to come relieve that person from their position so they can go sit in the back or go talk to the supervisor and calm down, get some water, whatever. Take a quick smoke break, whatever needs to be done. If it's a customer, or if it's a guest, we de-escalate it as much as we can, but if it's still not helping, we call for the private medical we have on standby, and we have them come help talk them down and all that, and de-escalate the situation. But that's kind of what we do.
I want to go fast, just take a moment here, and welcome our two new guys here coming in. Mr. Jay Anderson from Arizona, he's another fireman. And also, Jake the Snake is also joining us tonight as well, guys. This is kind of just a normal podcast, guys. We really don't have any guidelines. So just try to be respectful to everyone that's within the channel. We really answering and asking questions amongst the group here to kind of see what we all know and what we can do better. And we just got another question in, so let me go fast. Let's answer this question, and I'll let you guys kind of speak a little bit here, guys. What happens when there is a threat on the job? How do any of you handle it? For that one, I'm going to let 149 take it for at least our department. Anderson, why don't you go ahead and answer that for your department?
Hello, good evening, good night, whatever. Can you repeat the question? I apologize.
Yes, the question was, what happens when there is a threat on the job? And how do any of
Yep.
you handle it?
Depending on the severity of the threat, we'll try to de-escalate ourselves. If we physically cannot, then we contact the sheriff.
No. Not yet.
Security officer, let's go ahead and jump over to you real fast.
Okay. So threat on the job. Legitimately, just the way Anderson just said it. I will try to handle it personally myself, or myself and the other guards will. If we can talk him down, cool. If not, we do have permission to go hands-on, whereas you guys don't as much as us. If it goes to physical force, we can use it. But if that threat's still not backing down, and I'm outside or whatever, I call for PD back. If I'm outside, I can legitimately just wave my hand, look at one of my officers, motion him over, and we can end it right then and there.
And I want to now switch down to 149, and or 40 even. One of you guys want to answer this for our department. 'Cause I'm not sure on this myself.
What was the question?
What happens when there is a threat on the job, and how do any of you handle it?
Once again, I've never experienced anything like that since I've been in. So I'd probably like try and de-escalate the situation as much as possible. And if I feel the situation's gotten to the point where it's not gonna be able to be de-escalated, I will take it to a chief or higher ranking officer.
Now, I know what happens with the juniors when there's a situation on the scene. We get pulled off the scene, so then we're not in the way of what's going on with the situations. There's actually a scene where there was possible arson, and didn't know if the person of suspects was still up there or not, so they did not let the juniors or explorers, if you want to call it that, go on the trucks to go to the call.
Yeah, Jay, now that you mentioned that, I guess I have experience with that. I forgot about that one. I was not happy that night.
No,
Alright,
you're
here's
both.
one directly for security. Do security guards have the right to arrest a person if the cops are not available at the time?
No. Nope. Because, see, that's false imprisonment, and impersonating an LEO. We ourselves can go to jail and get fired for that shit. We are not allowed to detain anybody for any reason necessary. We can tell them that, hey, you're free to leave at any time. We just want to talk to you about a couple of things, but, free to leave at any time. You don't want to answer my questions? Fine, cool, go. But no, we cannot arrest anybody if law enforcement isn't on scene, because we are not law enforcement. So we can't do their job. They can do ours, but we can't do theirs. So no, I cannot arrest somebody. And usually I have PD on site anyway, because, like I said, we work with local law enforcement out here. I've got a county constable in one hand, and I've got a corrections officer in the other. Usually, I've got two officers usually with me at all times when I'm working. So PD's almost always there, and if they're running late or whatever, there's not much I can do about it, honestly. I could just tell them that they're not allowed in my property again, and if I or PDC them on the property, then they will be arrested, and I will have them trespassed from the property. But that's about all we can do there.
Alrighty.
You guys can't even make a citizen arrest.
No, we're not allowed to. Because we're security, and already it's really interesting line there anyway. No, citizens arrests are not allowed.
Another question just came in. Are security guards on call 24/7 and is firemen on call 24/7? The fire department, at least as far as I'm aware, us volunteers, we're always on call, no matter what. Anytime those tones drop, we're needed. We honestly, we've decided as a group of kids, quote unquote, as we're called by our peers, we've decided that we're going to be doing, we do shifts. So, honestly, at least for my department, I can speak that, we honestly do shifts for my department. So, we're always on call, always at the ready to go at any given point, no matter what the call is. It could be, a simple smoke alarm, activation, and we have to go investigate. It can be something that simple, but, again, the community is calling for help because they're at their lowest peak. So we will end up actually going through and, responding to the calls, making sure that we get, actually to that scene, if we get a driver for that. I don't know about Anderson on how they do it with his department, but at least for us, I know that much. Security. Same goes for you. What goes on for you guys?
No. Because I work for a concert venue, I'm not always on call 24/7. However, and it has happened, if the need arrives on either A, one of my days off, or B, on a point where I have to, I can be called in on my days off to help out. That's me covering a shift. I'm not 24/7. Never have been unless I work.
Your bestie?
149. I'm gonna need to ask you to turn whatever you have going on in the background down.
Please.
Yeah, it was accidental. I didn't mean that.
Because it's gonna end up kicking me off stream.
Yeah, true. But no. If I worked for an armed guard company such as K&K Security, and I was one of their supervisors, yeah, I'd be on call 24/7. It doesn't matter if I'm at my day job or not. If there is an issue where they need me as a supervisor, and it's one of my off days, for whatever reason, I have to go. So, yeah, it depends on the company.
Mr. Jake the Snake 500, do you have any questions, my good sir? Are you even there, Drake?
I don't know if 500 is here.
I don't know if he is either, but let's go ahead and go back to the chat here over on YouTube's side. How do any of y'all handle a person who is deaf? Do any of you have to be trained in sign language? That is a good question. I know personally I am not trained really in sign language. So myself, what I'd probably end up doing is grabbing like a pad and paper, writing out the questions, and then showing it to them. And allowing them to, write it right back to me so I can, get my answers that I need. At least that's what I would do.
No, I am not trained in sign language. Usually at venues we have an interpreter there on staff. Usually, hopefully, sometimes, but no, I'm not trained in sign language, and I don't believe any of my colleagues are. So pen and paper, like Matt said, or using my phone. Or that's also how I communicate with people with a language barrier. Is Google Translate. It is your best fucking friend.
Amen to that one. Anderson, I noticed that you just unmuted your mic, so we're gonna go back a question real fast. For you, sir.
Pause. I was taking care of the baby.
What's that?
I was taking care of the baby. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. So a question for you, sir, is for your department, are you guys always on call, or do you guys have shifts, or how does that work for you guys' department?
We're 100% volunteer. We respond from wherever we're at. We are on call 24/7. However, we do have our training days / in station hours, which are Sundays and Thursdays during the summer. And as far as the second question about interpretation, we do not have anybody on our department. I know very basic. I could basically spell my name in sign language. That's about it. Other than that, if no one is on scene that can interpret, then we would use pen, paper, phone, whatever we have in hand, even if it's writing in the sand.
I see. Wildstyle started another question. Just do any of y'all?
Yeah, I think that she deleted to fix that at this time.
Yeah, I see that. I just like, I'm noticing certain things here and there.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. Give me a second here.
Give me a second. I need to get my story straight.
Sorry, I was super late to this. I just got off of a 3-structure fire. 1 o'clock till 7:30.
That's what you posted in photos, right?
Yes, sir.
Damn, dude. Fuck.
And it's funny, the small volunteer department was on the hose line more than this paid city.
Jesus.
We each, me and my fellow, were the only 2 firefighters out of our station today, and we both went through 7 air packs. Go through 2 before we even took a break.
Okay. So, before Wildstyle asks her question, which I'm sure she's going to here soon, I'm curious. What is an air pack? Air pack, please. Someone explain it to me in like the simplest human English terms that a dumbass security guard like myself can understand, please.
Okay. In that term, think of a scuba tank.
Okay.
In reality, it's called a SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus. The scuba, you just add the U, it's for underwater. But SCBA, and it gives us compressed air, not oxygen, compressed air. We have the MSA G1s, which hold 4,500 pounds PSI of air, which typically, if you're relaxed, will last approximately 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your breathing. While fighting, you're looking at about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on your breathing. And if you're a heavy breather, even less.
Ethan,
Yes.
Thank you for
how much
explaining that.
PSI do our tanks hold?
250?
2250.
Yes!
You need one of theirs. You'll last like 2 hours.
So another question just came in from Wildstyle. about people who don't speak English? How do any of y'all handle it?
Translate.
Before we answer that question, I just want to make a real quick thing here. Mr. Zeno, no online questions. You go to online questions and we're just gonna not answer them.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm
You
not
like to
putting up
spit
with
them
that
off too quick.
again.
We like questions that you think of that you want to know the answers to.
Please.
Exactly.
To go back to the actual question that we have at hand, again, I will read it. What about people who don't speak English? How do y'all handle it? Personally, I haven't dealt with this, but what I would honestly do is, like Ben said, do either Google Translate or see if there's someone else who speaks English but also speaks another language that can assist us with what is going on. If there's no one around, obviously, we'd probably end up calling LEO in that can actually assist us at that time.
Oh yeah. I, once again going back to yes, I use Google Translate. But also if it helps me to, depending on the event, if it's a kid-friendly event, I'll talk to the children. And it's unfortunate, kids know English, and that's what they use to translate with their parents. So I'll look for that, or I'll ask one of my Hispanic coworkers. Not saying every Hispanic person speaks the same Spanish, because I learned Spain Spanish for about a term, and I remember none of it. But that's kind of how I'd handle it. 149 or 40.
Yes.
Question was what about people who don't speak English? How do you handle it?
That's not really my job. I'm there to learn.
Fair
I
enough.
take them to someone that can help.
Yeah, hope that you have somebody on your crew that knows at least a little bit of what the languages that they're speaking.
Okay, fair enough. This one's for. I've got two for my firefighters. What's the worst fire call you've been to, and what fire rig do you prefer if you have to choose one?
One, two.
Okay, Zeno, slow down a second, sir. Give our guys some time to answer the first two, and then we'll get to the next one.
I'm going to take the reins on this, guys. The voice fire call, honestly, I haven't had a voice fire call myself yet. I know 149 and 40 both. They both have been on just recently a barn fire.
Lower your voice.
That was actually pretty bad. So,
Beef backup.
So that there alone was one of the worst calls that they've been on that I know of myself. Rigs, on the other hand, I really wouldn't be able to pick between the rigs, being honest with you. The only one I would rather not be on is WA9, which is a brush truck in the back seat. That back seat kills me every time.
I got a rig that I prefer.
Okay.
Go to Google and look up Warsaw WA1.
For me, we we've had two big fires in the 5 years I've been on the department. The first one was our city hall fire. It was a building over 100 years old. It was a devastation to the community. But I would say today. Today was probably one of the worst ones. It started out as a little brush fire, and it quickly transferred. We were having 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts today. It quickly transferred into one structure, and then pushed on to the Bravo 1 structure, and then it ended up jumping as we were trying to keep it down. Jumped right in front of me from Bravo 1 to how would you even behind the Bravo 1, so
So
Bravo
Delta.
Charlie
Charlie,
that
probably.
structure. And it was a good one. We had 5 different departments on scene, and add in Arizona Rangers, Arizona State Troopers, Cochise County Sheriff, Bisbee Police, electric, water, gas, American Red Cross. We had overall probably about 12 different agencies on scene. 3 people lost their homes. The entire area was evacuated. There's hundreds of people without power currently due to it. It was a pretty good one. No fatalities. I was on one fatality fire, but that was at the beginning of my career. They relieved and released us prior to the removal.
Okay.
As far as the engine, I would say engine 2. That is our older Ford, and one, I like old vehicles, but 2, it's got that nice, sturdy, big school bus steering wheel.
Those ones are my favorite.
And now, what's the best part? Fire of job.
What's the best part? What's the best part of your job as a firefighter? Is the way I'm gonna choose to interpret that, because otherwise I think
Yeah.
Zeno's a little drunk.
Yeah. Honestly,
I think that's the same for all of us. Helping the community in their greatest time of need.
yes. I come
There
to
we go.
realize, in just my short time of being a fireman and always wanting to be one, the main thing is we're all there to best assist the community at their lowest. They're calling out for help, which means that they're possibly going to be at their lowest state. So helping the community and, obviously humanizing the badge. And showing that not all firemen are, bad. At least in my aspect, that's how I put it. If 40, 149, 500 even, if any of you guys want to kind of chime in on that.
Oh, geez. Once I stop dying of coughing.
Yeah, call me a typical volley. I don't mind. I love what I do for my community, and I don't want to be posted in the front page of the paper or on the news, and I just want to help out those who are in need and go back to my daily life. I got a family. I got other things I do, but my heart is with the community, and I'd rather be a ghost and no one know who I am than get posted on these newscasts and front page papers. It's it's interesting. It's neat to see myself, but it's not the attention I'm looking for.
If a firefighter is new and the first time in their fire, how would it work with that probie? How would you work with that probie?
Okay. Hold on. Sorry, Matt. Don't mean to cut you off. But before you guys answer that question, let me rephrase it the way I think it's supposed to go. Cause look, I deal with drunk idiots all the time. I understand these questions. If a firefighter is new and it's their first time on a fire call, how would you help that probie grow, and how would you work with the probie?
I will let 149 take this one on a group, a fireman. So 149.
Real quick before he answers that, I'm heading out, guys. I will talk to you all later.
Alright, buddy, you take it easy.
You too.
Later.
Later.
Have a good night, Jay.
So 149, you care to take this one for us, for the team?
Was the question was about helping out a new rookie?
Yeah.
I would probably, just do my best to teach them the basics of what they're gonna need to know to be able to, learn and grow to be a better firefighter.
Sam, just give us just a moment because we are still live both on YouTube and on Twitch at this time, sir.
That's kind of what I want to talk to you about. Fuck it.
I will handle it here in a moment with you, Sam, okay? Just please.
To answer that question on my end, what we do for probies, newcomers, whatever the chat would like to call it, is if they're just starting and they have very little training, then they're going to go to the scene, but they're not going to be able to do much. They're going to be basically manning the engine and refilling air. However, if they do have a little bit of training, then what we do is we'll take them with us, but they're still not doing much. They're not going to be going interior. No one non-certified is allowed to go interior. And they'll pretty much just be hitting it from the outside. They'll be doing exterior hose down, basically. And they'll be on the nozzle. We'll give them nozzle time. But that's pretty much what they're going to be doing. They're not going to be doing a whole lot due to lack of training. Usually they don't get to see themselves fully involved with the scene until about their 6-month mark.
Oh.
Yes, I know about that, Sam. Me and him have already talked about it.
If this is the thing I think it's about, I think he's doing it again.
No, it's something else.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get back to the questions here, guys. I'm sorry, I'm doing multiple things at once. Being a civil owner is awesome. Anywho, what is your greatest fear that you all have on the job? Well, I can talk on behalf of myself. My greatest fear is losing another fellow man, another fellow firefighter, and or even losing my own life. But as the Fireman's Prayer once read, and I'm going to quote the Fireman's Prayer real fast for you guys here. Just give me 1 second here.
That I'll jump in real quick. My greatest fear is pretty much the same: a fatality of any kind. And yes, other people's fatalities are bad, and I'm not saying that my fatality would be worse. You do have to think of the concept of the family you're leaving behind, and that doesn't go just for me. If there's a fatality at a scene, someone just lost a family member. That is my greatest fear overall.
Yes.
And we do what we can, but there's some times where it's just, if it's time for that person, and it hurts everybody.
Yes. And as a fireman once said, I want to fulfill my calling and give the best in me to guard my every neighbor and protect his property. And if according to my fate I am to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand the special people in my life. With that being said, again, my biggest fear is losing another fellow man, another fireman, losing my own life, or even losing, having someone else pass away, whether it be from the fire or from some kind of medical condition. My biggest fear is losing a fellow life. I'm going to swing it down to either 149, 500, or even Sam, now that he's also here within the podcast as well. Let's go ahead and open up the channel to them real fast. Just, in general, I know this is supposed to be just pointed directly at fire, but again, I want to open it up to everyone here, guys. So go ahead and put your input on this as well, guys, please.
I'll let either Sam or 149 go first.
Sorry, I'm doing multiple things at once for work and all that stuff. I kind of missed the question. I'm sorry.
Question one is, what is the greatest fear that you all have on a job?
Does this include any job or?
Let's go with the first responder job. So for yourself, it'd be military. So.
Well, again, it depends on where you are. For me personally, if you're on a ship, it's losing someone or someone getting pinned on a boat. It's just when someone gets hurt, severely. That's what my greatest fear is. That's why I try to prevent as much, prevent it as possible, but sometimes you can't really prevent people getting hurt. That's why knowledge is always the key. Teaching.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and switch over to the security side of things real fast. And let's have that dealt with here.
Yeah, actually, this will probably be my last question before I jump off for the night. I do have work in the morning. So, for me, greatest fear, honestly, hey, given what I do, there's plenty of things. Greatest fear, having a gun pulled on me or anybody in my venue, and one of us getting shot and losing our life. Point blank, plain and simple. Loss of life and having a gun pulled on me. Of course, I'm gonna stay cool, calm, copacetic in the situation, but the aftermath or whatever, I will die afraid. If it comes to that, I will die afraid, but I will remain stoic, cool, calm, and copacetic to keep people evacuating swiftly and efficiently. But that's kind of where I stand on that.
Okay. 149, you want to take the lead out? What's your greatest fear?
I think my greatest fear would just be losing somebody within a department or somebody that was working with on a scene or anything like that.
Okay. Next question is what was your most embarrassment call? I personally I don't have any. Maybe 149 or Anderson might have one. But personally I do not at this time. Do you guys have an embarrassment call at all?
No.
These are probably going to be the last little bit of questions that we're probably going to be answering, guys. We are going almost on 2 hours. So we're probably going to end up ending the stream, at least on the YouTube side of things. I'm not quite sure exactly how the Twitch side is going to go, and if we're going to continue going or not. You can find our links down below. Join our Discord. We do have some partnerships as well that's listed down below. Feel free to, show them some love as well. Join the communities. Some of the 5M communities that we've been partnered with. We also have partnered with a tow operation community. So make sure you guys go ahead and show them some love as well. Have you came across with more than problem? Zeno, what did you mean on that question? And yes,
I want to say he's trying to ask if, for instance, we're on one call and then got toned out to another call in the middle. My assumption.
I know we've gotten to the point of, for medical calls, this has happened a handful of times to us, where we just get to the hospital, just drop, and then we turn around and get another call as soon as we're getting ready to drop them off at the hospital. We just recently had that happen about, I want to say, roughly about a month ago. We had that happen. At least for my department. What about for you, John?
I'm sorry, what was the last part that you just said?
I said that's at least what happens here with my department, is that we ended up getting called just as we were getting ready to drop one patient off. We had to go to another call right afterwards. We had just the ambo, the stretcher on the road.
Well, we have not been called out to two different incidences at the same time. We have had 3 call-outs in a single day, 2 of them being fires, one a outlet that was going bad, but they were able to cut the power. Anyways, if it were to occur, such as, for example, hypothetically, we get called out to a brush fire. It's small. We can contain it with just our department, but we're on scene of a brush fire, and then we get toned out to a structure fire. Then we're automatically going to be requesting mutual aid. Our department is very small. We only have 2 engines, a brush, and a tender. We would probably send 1 engine to the structure fire and get a command and everything going. But we're going to be requesting mutual aid, whether it be from Naco, Arizona. For those of you who know Naco, Sonora, we're talking Naco, Arizona, and Bisbee. And if it is bad enough, then we'll request further mutual aid, such as today we requested mutual aid from Sierra Vista Fire Medical, which is a 32 to 35 minute drive, and also Douglas, which is a 28-minute drive.
Oof. If a firefighter is new to the first time, so this is gonna be a question for interiors. We kind of basically already kind of went through this, but again, if a firefighter is new and it's their first time in a fire, inside a building, how would you work with a probie?
As an interior, I can honestly say we do not let anyone who's not certified into a building. However, hypothetically, they are certified and it's their first structure fire that they're able to go interior. They would be sticking on the back of the hose line and possibly get a taste of the nozzle, but they're going to be pretty much buddy system with the senior firefighter the entire time.
I'm not sure how that would work for my department. 149, want to kind of pipe up on that one?
I mean, my first interior fire, I was third alarm house fire in Varysburg. The one on Snyder Road, not.
Okay.
I was just thrown right to work with the rest of the guys. And yeah, really was treated like the rest of the interiors. I was right up there in the action, which I feel is the best way you're gonna learn, being right there in the action.
Okay. And Zeno, for your last question, this is gonna be the last question, guys, and I mean this, the very last question for the YouTube side of things. What do you mean by do firefighters get numbers? Because there's different things you can be asking about. Are you asking about like the call sign numbers, or are you asking about jacket tags? Because our jacket tags have certain numbers on them as well.
Sorry. Why don't you answer both?
Ones that would be on the jacket or the helmet, the tags, they're called PAR tags, personnel accountability report or record. And that's just what your individual number as a firefighter is. Most departments do it, some do not. Basically, for example, if you're responding to command, you say, "This is firefighter 123," and so they know who it is. Whereas other departments, it's just, "This is firefighter Anderson. This is firefighter Gold." Other than that, you may see other types of numbers, which is usually the station and the station number and the apparatus number. So, for example, my station is 24, District 24. So our engine 1 will be engine 24-1. I was part of engine 24-1 company today. And 24-1, 24-2, brush 24-1. etc. So, bringing it all and narrowing it down, it's usually just the identification over just random numbers.
Alrighty, guys.
So
So,
awkward.
as Anderson said, in our personal department, we do have our tags that we hang up in the apparatus, just so then this way everyone knows on what truck you are on. And then we also have two other tags. One tag stays actually on your jacket itself. The other tag is if you go for the interior side of things, that will be given to the person at the door. This way they at least know who's in and who's out. So, with that question being said, with that answer being said, we also have it where if we're on a truck responding for at least our department, depending on the truck number, we'll be either called WA2, WA1, WA4, WA3, WA6. And a lot of those they range between WA6 is our AMBO, WA4 is a ladder truck, WA2 right now I believe is a pumper, if I'm not mistaken. And then WA3 is also another pumper, along with WA1. So they, and we also just got a new apparatus that just got to the fleet, which is going to be a rescue slash engine as well, I do believe. So that's something to also kind of keep in mind as well, guys.
Just to touch on the new truck, Matt. It is a rescue pumper. If any of you guys want to check it out, there's a couple pictures of it in the Warsaw Fire Department apparatus channel toward the in the welcome section. Yeah, it's replacing one of our engines in one of our rescues. So it's a 2015 Spartan rescue pumper. It's got a 750 gallon tank with a 1500 GPM pump. So, yeah. Fortunately, we had to send it out to get some maintenance done as soon as we got it. It's like, I forgot what I was gonna say. Tragic.
But
Anyway, yeah, back to you, Matt.
alrighty, guys. So at this time, we're gonna go ahead and close all questions down. At this time, we're going to go ahead and end our live. We're sitting at about 2 hours and 8 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and close down our live at this time. I do want to say thank you to everyone who showed up tonight. People here on the chat, at least on the YouTube side. I don't know if we got anything on the Twitch side or not. But for the YouTube side, Miss Wildstyle, Xeno, Supreme Canadian, thank you guys for showing up. Here in the Discord, we had Ben, our security personnel, myself, John, 500, Captain Sam, and also Farron149. Thank you all for showing up tonight, guys. Again, really do appreciate you guys' support, you guys' dedication to the community, And if you guys have any further questions or any other ideas of topics we can go over, go ahead and feel free to put those down in the podcast areas designated for podcast topics, question and answers, or the Q&A section. And we'll see you guys on the next live, guys. Thank you so very much once again, and make sure you guys show everyone some love.